ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on this week's episode, we'll be talking about the movie Us. But before we get to any of that, I'm joined today, of course, by Santa Monica Nathaniel Gingrich.
What up, folks? I'm Santa Monica Nathaniel. Is that an Everclear album that they have? That's Santa Monica? Do they have a song about Santa Monica?
idea.
Never mind.
Can't say I'm too familiar, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, all right. Never mind then.
You said Everclear, and all I thought of was alcohol.
Oh,
I think that's what they're named
yeah,
after.
kind of same, actually.
I'd have to imagine. Santa Monica might be the song.
Mm.
I've been
Sure,
to
there's plenty
Santa
of songs
Monica.
with Santa Monica. Have you?
I have, yeah.
I have not.
Great
I've
city.
not either.
Great city.
I have yet to make it to the great state of California.
Ah.
It's on my
Yeah,
list. Pretty
nice
close
place.
to the top. Yeah.
I've been to Oakland.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
How was that?
It was fine. It was a work trip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
it
which
was a long time ago. It was with F1 Audio. It was after starting Best Buy.
Yeah.
We
It was that
Best
home
Buy
theater
for
gig you
like 6
took.
months. Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
yeah. I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
Dope,
Got
dope.
flown out there for Samico training.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Shout out
Samico
Oakland.
subs and Sonos Faber.
The Oakland fan over there, of course, is Twin Tie Tyler Vidalis.
I don't have a twin
No,
that I know
didn't
of.
really. You never know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could have
way
got,
to tie that in.
parents could have been like, we only want one, so here's the other one. Left him at the hospital.
Could you imagine
Fuck 'em.
two Tylers in that
No.
household?
No. Can't
Probably
imagine
would've
two
burned down.
Tylers in any household.
Yeah.
If
There's
anything,
another guy named Tyler here, and it's already weird.
oh no.
Yeah.
If anything, Justin feels like the twin that maybe took out the other twin, you know.
Mm.
Justin's tried to kill me on multiple occasions.
That's what I'm saying. He's already had practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a fact.
For anyone who doesn't know Justin, that sounds so bad. Like, if you don't know Justin Vidalis, that's just like, Justin's just tried to kill me so many times. But it's just, it's all in
You can ask
jest.
my
Knowing
sister.
Justin.
He's taken a couple shots at her, too. Justin's tried to murder us both.
Jesus.
He'll play it off as an accident or like, you guys are telling the story wrong, but like 2 versus 1, there's no way our stories are getting
I
crossed.
saw the look in his eyes, and he said, "Let's get it on."
That was about the fighting.
Also joining us today.
Just to
Alright,
say
no,
real
go ahead,
quick,
go ahead.
I said there's another Tyler here and it's weird. Tyler, if you listen to this, you're not weird. It's not weird. It's just, when 2 Tylers get together, it's another time.
What is the
So, yeah.
plural for Tyler? Tyleri? Tylers? A gang of Tylers?
yeah.
I only gets
I
added
would just
to
go
US.
Ties.
So I think it's ties, yeah. But then does it
Ties.
become Ty Y apostrophe S or TIES?
See?
We're gonna do TY because that's how tires are spelled.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Tears.
Rounding out the squadron today, of course, is big body double BlakeHolder.
We'll take it. We'll take the name today.
Like
fellas.
it? Yeah. Lots of body doubles going on here today. Lots and lots. How was your week, Blake?
Not too bad, man. First week on the gig. So.
Oh yeah. How's it going?
Yeah. Good. I mean, right now it's just HR onboarding stuff. Haven't done
Onboarding,
anything.
right.
Met a ton
Right.
of people. Unfortunately, don't remember all their names. I'm kind of like going through that
I'm
piece.
very nervous for
So,
that. I'm not great with
yeah.
names to start off.
So, but yeah, it's all good so far.
Good, man. Good. Glad to hear it. Hopefully, they don't rush you in too much, and it's a nice kind of easy ramp up to your regular duties.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm dreading daylight savings.
When is that?
I don't know. Let's look that up. because it like got dark. I came out on my lunch today, and it was
Mhm.
light when I went in, and it came out, and it was dark at like probably like 6:10.
Oh yeah, that's already
Like,
kicking
oh
in.
man.
I remember
See,
plenty of
now,
years at Best Buy. You go in and it's dark. You come out and it's dark. You don't even
Yeah,
see
no,
the
that's
motherfucker.
trust me, I've had
yeah,
those days as well.
that's the worst part of the
You
winter
just don't
out
see the
here.
sun.
Now, I could have sworn
worst
I
part of
read
retail.
something a few years
First
back that
Sunday
they were
of November, so it's not until November 5th
okay. So
this
we got
year.
some
So
time.
we got some time, but it doesn't feel
Yeah.
like it.
I could have sworn I read something either last year or that they were trying to get rid of daylight savings.
Yeah,
The,
that was.
in
I
this
thought we were
area.
done with it.
Because I know Mountain Time. I don't believe Mountain Time follows daylight saving time.
They do not.
Right. And that's like Denver, Phoenix, that whole strip there. I'm just aware that they don't do it. But I
Strip.
think they're the
This
only
year or
time
next
zone
year's
in the
last?
U.S. that does that. Can anyone confirm that?
It's them in Montana, I think.
Okay. So, and what'd you say, Ty? You said this year and next year is the last?
I think this year or next year is when they're planning on stopping it.
Hey,
It's fucking dumb.
bro, that's the worst part of the wintertime where you look up and it's
Dude,
like
yeah.
nighttime at 4 p.m.
Yeah, man,
It's
it's
just so
The only
bad.
reason I ever cared for it was because it
You get the extra
makes
hour.
you low key feel like a time traveler if you stay up late enough.
right.
So-
Closest thing to time travel, huh? Wormhole?
Daylight saving.
A blip, if you will.
Is that the closest thing, or is February 29th?
Ooh. I feel like you gotta go
nah.
daylight saving time just because it happens more. February 29th, that's what, once every 4 years?
Mhm.
Leap years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
coming up, we'll have one next year. Actually, another leap
I was
year.
gonna say I don't even know the schedule of those, so I could even tell you
Every
the
4
last
years,
time we
yeah.
had one and the
It
next
is
time.
next year.
It should be
Okay.
next year. So 2020,
2024.
the hell year was actually a day longer.
Yeah.
Just lasted just a little bit longer.
Oh,
It
yeah, there's
follows
another number.
presidential elections.
Yeah, that's how I go by it. Also,
Okay.
the Olympics.
Yeah.
Lots of things happening on those every 4
Well,
years.
Summer
What do
Olympics.
2020
people do whose
Summer
birthdays fall on the 29th? I assume they just celebrate it the 28th, right, every year.
Yeah, I think usually I kind of either pick 28th of February or
the
1st of
yeah,
March
first,
kind of
yeah.
thing, and then you kind of go from there. But like, technically, like a 50-year-old man could be like
25.
12, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, you know.
I would make people celebrate like from midnight till like 6 a.m. Like I know that's
Just
still
like-
technically the next day, but like that's
Yeah.
like your only
Because
your
you're
only
only going to
time
get
frame.
it when you're 4, 16, and
yeah.
or 4, 8, 12, 16.
Is that like
would suck.
reverse dog years then? Like that dude's only 4?
Yeah.
It's that
Right.
he's got the
Yeah.
Benjamin
Or
Button.
well like you know if he's like 32, you're like what? 12?
Eight, right?
Yeah.
8.
Our
yeah,
math
8.
is so bad.
Yeah,
we're
I'm-
trying to think about this out loud.
I'm really good about math, but I'm tired as
Yeah.
fuck. So
Dividing by 4 is very difficult. Who would have thought?
Facts. 5s are still easy for me. It's got to end in 0 or 5, you know. 5s I can still get pretty good. All right. Well, with all that being said, let's get on over to the main review segment here. So Nathaniel, if the listener here is new or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how a review segment works?
You want a rundown?
A riggedy, man, try to say riggedy rundown.
A riggedy rundown?
A riggedy rundown.
Speaking of riggedy rundowns, I've been watching Ruby Doo or Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo.
Little, yeah,
Scooby Doo.
little bit of sizzle for us
Ruh-roh.
before.
I funny enough, Nathaniel, I put that on this morning.
Oh, you
Turned on
found
YouTube.
found that
and
YouTube?
I found the live stream this morning. It populated on me. The algorithms. Shout out to that guy
yeah.
or gal.
Ooh.
But yeah, so the Scooby Doo was on there, and it was a new episode too, man. Though, so to your point, it wasn't like the OG ones that I've seen as a
Yeah.
child. That thing had to be released like 2017.
Yeah, is it the one where they like have the weird? We could talk about this later in what we're watching. But,
Yeah.
but anyways, the rundown, folks, on Back Row Banter. If you're new, or if you've just forgotten, The way things work here is there's going to be the non-spoiler segment, and then there's the spoiler segment. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler segment, we're going to go over the movie's IMDb page, who wrote it, who directed, who's in it, all that good stuff. We'll go around the quadrant and decide if we recommend the movie. Has to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. We'll also go over the movie's IMDb summary. Voice cracked a little there. That was fun. And then from then on, it'll be spoiler time. If you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, just go ahead and check out there. But do come back and check our show notes to see when you can come back for us to rank a movie up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast ranked. With that, Adam, tell me about Us.
I would love to. This is not a movie. It was released in the year 2019. It's rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 56 minutes. And it has an IMDb rating of 6.8 out of 10. Directed and written, of course, by Mr. Jordan Peele. This is the second of his. What was the word he used last week, Nathaniel?
Triptych.
Triptych, that's right. This is the number 2 in his little trilogy triptych thing that he's got going. The cast includes Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Elizabeth Moss, Tim Heidecker, Shahida Wright Joseph, Evan Alex, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, and I think I'll probably Ana Diop is the other parent there. I think I'll probably stop there. That's the main cast that we have going. The IMDb summary reads as follows. A family's serene beach vacation turns to chaos when their doppelgangers appear and begin to terrorize them. Love it. That's all you need. Good summary there. So yeah, of course, fill in any gaps there. You have family of 4 going out to their little beach house vacation area, and all of a sudden some weird stuff starts happening, and there's turns out there's another family of 4 that seems to be up to some mischief.
Some mischief, you say?
Some mischief. Who saw this in theaters?
I did.
I saw it in theaters.
How you see it too? Theaters too.
No, this is actually my first time.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you guys that in the group me, and then I figured it'd be a better reaction over
Live.
recording. So yeah,
True.
I withheld information.
So this was your first time. Was there a reason you skipped out on it originally, or did you just not?
I just
Not when you
I
caught.
don't think I ever really got around to it in theaters, and then
Yeah,
by the time it came out, I was just kind of like, I'll get around to it when I get around to it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very satisfied with Get Out and Nope, and yeah, I was just kind of slept on this one. So
I got you. I haven't seen this since theaters, so it's been a while for me, almost 4 years at this point. But where are we coming down on this? I'm gonna kick it to Ty first, of course. This was your first watch. How did you land on
fucking
this one?
trash. No, I had a pretty good time with it. I watched it on my phone. It just recently came to Netflix, so that was very convenient.
Was that this week?
did you-
'Cause I felt like I looked for this.
literally, yeah. We
Oh,
literally
great timing.
like said we were doing this, and then I looked the next day on Netflix, and it was on there, and I was like, "It's fire. That's wild."
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I felt like I was looking last week. I was like, oh, man, I might have to, like, rent this
Yeah.
one or do something. No, there it was.
Nope. Yeah, it was not on. I was not on there. Yeah, and then it just recently popped up. So I was like, "Well, that's convenient as shit." Blake did say he had it on Vudu though, so we would have
This
found
is
a way.
true.
We always do.
But yeah, I had a ton of fun with this. I think that it's not my favorite Jordan Peele,
Mhm.
which we can unpack that a little bit later. I love the concept. I think it's very cool. I always love what Jordan Peele kind of does. The acting is pretty close to probably some of their best performances. We've already announced that there's another family. We'll wait. But yeah, acting was very good, kind of all around. Soundtrack I had a lot of fun with when you get those kind of remixes of songs that we're familiar with,
Mm.
or when you when you hum or whistle or do any other kind of song like that kind of gives you a creepy vibe. So I was a big fan of where those were kind of laid out throughout the movie, and awesome gore factor. Again, anytime we do horror, I just preface the fact that we are sick individuals, so it takes a lot to scare us or kind of put us in there. This kind of fell short for me again, but the concept from this one is there for sure. It's one that obviously we could say that is a bit more of an original. There are some nuances that you get from other movies in the horror category that I don't think you would get if you don't have those. Um, but overall, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm a recommend for sure. I think if you're looking for something that is going to make you feel some type of way, then this is definitely a good way to kind of kick that off. So yeah, I'm a recommend for sure. I want to hear Nathaniel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw this in theaters, and then I think I want to say I've probably seen it twice since then. Um, and this is definitely on my third place on my Jordan Peele triptych, which is considering there's 3 movies on there, still pretty
Right.
good. Yeah, as well too.
Right.
I mean, any of I even though it's third place in my ranking of his movies, he's still better than just about anyone else out there working today too.
Jordan Peele's got a high hit rate, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, he
Yeah, man.
does. So yeah, I think when I saw this in theaters, I, without going into spoilers, left feeling a little bit like I was like, wow, I'm gonna have to sit with that one a little bit to really kind of let it sink in,
Sure.
and so on. And I think in subsequent rewatches, I've both enjoyed it a little bit more, but I think on this kind of the last one, I was a little bit more just kind of like I know what to expect now at this point, and kind of like all the beats and that kind of thing. And I think there's scary and good moments in it, but I don't think it quite pulls itself together as neatly as Nope and Get Out do at their like kind of climax and end,
Right.
in comparison. So I am still a recommend. I think some of the imagery in this is really, really good, really well done. I think the first 45 minutes or so is genuinely scary, and has some obviously great performances as well too. I just don't think we quite get the payoff maybe that we were expecting. And part of that I think too is victim of your own expectations, right? It's going to be tough after doing Get Out to have any kind of
Yeah.
second movie come after that as well too.
Right.
But
Sophomore slump,
yeah, this is just out of any one of his, this is also the one I feel like I want to hear him talk about the most,
Sure.
and just kind of like hear more of his reasoning behind it. Because I feel like Get Out and Nope are both very like I'm on the same wavelength with. This is one where like at certain points I just feel like, man, I missed something here. I
Yeah.
want a little bit more beyond that. But
little more detached.
yeah. Blake, what about you, bud?
Yeah, so this is one I was able to catch in theaters in 2019. What is this? This is like a March, April 2019.
Yeah, that's pretty
release.
early 2019,
I
if I'm
think
not
it was,
mistaken.
That's in
yeah.
spring.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is actually my first watch since then. So yeah, it was interesting on rewatch. I think I do like it more on second watch opposed to first watch. Not that I took away the first. This is it. Upon first watch, though, comparing it to Get Out, which was his first film, definitely liked Get Out more. Even on rewatch, I think I would still put Get Out first, and I do think I'd probably put this second in my Jordan Peele list, though.
Okay.
I'd probably put it over Nope. The reason I
Really?
lean on that is, I mean, this is just much more of like a true horror movie of the 3 movies he's made.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
that kind of hits my
Sure.
spot for what I'm looking for in a horror movie, right? Because if you break this thing down to like its fundamental aspects, it's like it's pretty much a slasher.
invasion. Yeah, home
Yeah,
invasion.
home invasion slasher. So
Thanks.
yeah, that was interesting to kind of see him take on that path, and we'll jump into it a little more in depth and spoiler because obviously it's Jordan Peele. There's all underlying themes. He leaves a lot of stuff unanswered, gives clues throughout the film. That's just very much how he does his films. And to Tyler and Nathaniel's point, he's hitting a pretty good rate, right, for all 3 of them. So that's my brief thoughts. So yeah, second watch, liked it more on second watch opposed to first watch. Really good. One thing I do want to share on this though, and I think I've shared this on pod before as well, but I still think to this day is that this in theaters got me to audibly laugh. Probably the loudest I've laughed at a scene that wasn't from a comedy movie, and it's definitely when Elizabeth character, that whole scene, and don't want to
Which scene?
spoil anything with Elizabeth Moss character. And it's
Oh,
like,
okay, I got you.
Ophelia, like, call the police. And then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, playing Fuck the Police by NWA.
Yeah,
Like that in
yeah.
theaters, I was crying, bro. So yeah, that's this one
yeah,
that just always
100%.
sticks with me. Every time I see that scene. So that's one that pops up on YouTube always in pop culture and things of that nature. So
That scene
yeah,
is
I'd recommend.
currently playing in the background right now.
Oh really?
on
Yeah,
my
that
rewatch.
scene is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd recommend whether you're a horror fan or just kind of movie fan in general. I'm curious to know like his box office success between the 3 films. That's something I guess I'll look up while Adam shares his thoughts. But
Yeah,
I'd
look that
recommend
up
it.
because I'm curious
I'll
too.
look
If I
it up.
had to guess, it's probably Nope 1, this 2, and Get Out 3. Like probably in
No.
that order. 'Cause I think
Get Out's way higher than all of them, to be honest with you.
You think so?
Really?
Even
I
on
remember
his first release?
I remember Get Out getting good box office, but I think it was good relative to people's expectations.
Yeah,
of
you
it. I
might be
still
right.
don't
Right.
You
think-
might be right.
I also don't think it like blew up. It blew up with within film. Like if you knew
Right.
if you were keeping up to date with this kind of stuff, you knew about it. But like general people don't think it got a ton of people out there. But then once Get Out got popular, and then Us, I think Nope is probably going to be.
It's
number
got to
one.
be right
Yeah.
because it's his last film.
It's the third one,
you're,
right?
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Look that up for us. Look that up for us,
Yep.
then, Blake. To round this out here, then, I saw this in theaters. Felt pretty just underwhelmed by it. I think I had, of course, expectations are your enjoyment. So I had high expectations going in based on Get Out, which I also saw in theaters and really surprised me and really enjoyed. And so I didn't end up loving it when I saw it in theaters, and I always kind of thought what I'd think on a rewatch. And now I've rewatched it, and I'm just flatlined on it. Like I think my enjoyment of the first time around is still my enjoyment of the second time around. I didn't find anything more that I didn't notice the first time that I was like, oh, I picked up on this, and oh, that I made this connection. And like there's small things here and there, but nothing major that I was like, oh, this kind of changes the movie for me. I definitely think if we're ranking it in the triptych, I definitely think this is bottom for me by quite a lot, honestly. I think this is a whole step down from the other two, which are much higher in my opinion. So I'm kind of with Nathaniel where like I would love to hear Jordan Peele explain this film a little bit more in depth and like give us an idea of what he was kind of going for, because I think there's something like I see the vision and I just don't know if the execution was all there or if there were things that got revised and or changed midway or something like that. Because and Nathaniel, you hit it on the head too. Like the first half of this movie, I think is great up until they get into they get out of their family friends house. I think that's
Sure.
kind of when it falls off for me, and it just leaves a lot to be desired in terms of like how it ramps up. Because they kind of had me on board until then, and then it really just deflates in that last half. And so yeah, overall, probably I'm still a recommend. I still think it's worth watching, especially in the month of October here as we are in spooky season. But I'm overall just a little underwhelmed with it. So I'd recommend it, but it's definitely at the bottom of my Jordan Peele ranking. All right, that's everyone, right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. What we were recommending? Were you 4 recommends?
Yes, I believe
I
so.
believe so.
All right, cool. So that is going to be recommend all around still from us. We're going to go ahead and head into spoilers. So if you've not seen us and do not want to spoil for you, go ahead, check the episode description where I've left a timestamp you can jump to where you'll be taken to the movie's ranking up upon our entry list.
And real quick here, fellas, on regards to the box office, surprisingly, Nope is last.
Damn.
No
Nope
way.
Nope grossed 172 million in the box office worldwide. But then you also got to think that was right around the time, because Nope is 2021, so right around the time they
Right.
started opening theaters again.
Oh, that's right.
And we
That's
didn't
right.
even account for that, right? We're pretty brain dead in that
Yeah, I
regard.
mean, theaters were relatively open back then, if I remember, because I don't remember wearing
Yeah,
a
but the
mask when I
world
saw
was
that
still
one.
like, some
But
people were
right,
like, hey,
the
I'm not going to
theaters weren't back
theaters.
like they were, right?
Right. And then number 2 is actually Get Out. So Get Out's at
Oh, so this
255
is number
million.
1 then.
Yep, USD. And then awfully close though. Us is 256 million.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Yeah,
much
see,
next to next.
I think I remember Get Out getting a really long kind of run
It
at the
did.
box
Definitely did.
office.
I saw it really late
Because it
compared
was
to when it
like,
came out.
yeah,
Actually, I do
it came
remember.
out in like January, and you could still see it in theaters in like March or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
I
Yeah.
saw it in March.
I saw it in
Yeah.
March as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
anyways.
Nathaniel, spoiler noise.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
spoiler
What
time
we
this
got
week.
this week?
Shit goes down.
Indeed, it does.
That was my air horn. It kind of sounded like the Tim
comes up.
Heidecker shrieking, and that's what it made me think of.
Yeah, I was dead. That was like the part where I audibly laughed.
Yeah,
And
Which
he's just
part?
fucking on the boat, and he's just
yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
After
the fuck?
taking
Where is he? Yeah.
where is he, dude?
That was a good. Yeah. That whole bit is good.
And I guess for me, that's to kind of get into spoiler time. That's where I kind of lose it on a rewatch, because the emotional core is obviously Lupita and like her family and everything like that. And as spooky as their doppelgangers are, the Tim Heidecker family is just like a little bit too much of a satire for me, and it kind of breaks
Right.
my suspension a little bit. So yeah, I guess that would be my kind of main criticism. Other than that, I mean, there are a lot of pretty spooky moments in this, and the overall just concept and what happens to the main character as well too, and how that information is relayed to the audience.
What information are you speaking of specifically?
Her
Like the twist?
Yeah, her doppelganger and like her twist, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I do agree. The tone definitely shifts when you get into that the Heidecker family's house. And from there it's just kind of like where are we going with this, and it just loses a lot of the tension at that point. For the reasons I think you definitely kind of hit the nail on the head with that. Where like you are kind of invested, and that home invasion scene is by far the scariest part of the movie. Where you like when you see the silhouettes in
the first one.
yeah, where you
at
see the silhouettes in the driveway.
Oh, yes,
And like
yeah.
by far the scariest thing this movie does is that
I'd
scene,
agree.
and that shot and everything, and just the having those 4 figures, like having the silhouettes, like that is a very haunting shot. And even this time around, I was like, damn, that's pretty freaky. But then from there's a lot more comedy in this one than I feel like there's present in Get Out, and Nope, which does have some good lines, but like to relieve the tension, or to just kind of like, give you a break of stress. But this, like, it felt like it was more present throughout the movie, and Winston's Duke character especially, like, he does bring a lot of great comic relief. Like, the comedy is working, but it works against the horror. in this one, and I don't think those two. It just you can't kind of have me keep laughing and then also keep the suspense high at the same time. So I felt like those two kind of clashed up against each other in this one.
Yeah, so I mean, I see what you're saying. I do think there are more comedic beats in this, specifically from Winston Duke. But I believe his character, um, I believe he did a pretty good job. First off, I think all
He
four
did.
of them did good once you
The
consider,
acting,
um,
acting is great.
right, and that's more so why I'm like, hey, I think this movie's good because they're acting their asses off in this one from all 4 of them,
Yeah,
specifically Lupita Nyong'o.
anytime you get and I think I say this every single time that we get something like this on the pod, but you have one character playing two characters at once.
For
Or
sure.
one actor playing two characters at once. It's crazy to see the different ways or different methods that they have to get into something, and this is one of those ones where they're supposed to be drastically different, um, and they are, and it shows. And I think all four of them killed it.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Whole family is awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that stuff sits with me. Then, like I said, the reason why I believe I rank it above Nope is I think this is his one true horror film he made. I guess Get Out is shortchange that by any means, but that has a higher level of political undertones, if that makes any sense, saying it aloud. And this doesn't have that much of it. It obviously is there, right, with the doppelgangers, that nature, and how the U.S. government was a part of that nature as well. But like I said, to its core, this also is a slasher home invasion flick, which Get Out's to its core is not a horror film if you're not a minority, specifically a black person. So that's why I feel like I'm rolling with this one a little bit more than Nope, because it kind of hits that area that I'm looking for. Nope is cool, but yeah, it's just not. There's nothing scary about Nope, and I feel like he was able to hone in on specifically like the parallels, the doppelgangers, but were they called tethered, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I guess, yeah.
So, yeah, that stuff was interesting to me, as well as obviously going into this one, everyone's big takeaway. Okay, what's the twist? Because now we are aware that Jordan Peele is always going to have the big twist, the loop-de-loop or corkscrew. So everyone's trying to kind of figure it out the entire time. Then obviously you get pieces fed into that from her or from Lupita Nyong'o's doppelganger being the only one that can speak. So that's usually like your first key, right, from the beginning, which is something I didn't pick up on immediately on first watch, right? I didn't really pick up on it until they're at, what's the other family's last name? I totally forgot.
My first name.
Tyler's? Is that their last name?
I'm pretty sure it's Tyler's.
It is, yeah.
Okay,
Call
yeah.
it Tyler.
Shout out.
Tyler squared.
So yeah, on first watch, I didn't really piece it together that she could very well be her tethered self. Once she kills one of like the twin girls' doppelganger, right? And then she's kind of like breathing frantically and things of that nature, where her son walks in and catches her. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, it was interesting, man. Like I can't really sit here and say like, hey, I called it twice. I knew that was gonna come. To Nathaniel's point, though, I do think there are pieces that could be done better. And there are a lot of questions that are left unanswered. But I think that stuff's intentional just to get you discussing about the film afterwards.
Sure. I would say for me, as far as like from a scare factor, I think space just being one of those like unknown things and people not being exposed to it so much that a sci-fi horror or just like something like Nope or like The Fourth Kind or something that has to do with like alien invasion, I think that does have some kind of scare factor to it, from like a horror standpoint, which is why I actually would put that in front of Us, because I feel like in ways I've seen Us before. There it is more of your classic kind of slasher home invasion. I got a lot of like the stranger vibes in there when people are just standing around in living rooms,
Sure.
and you get the shadows in the background. And So yeah, I think that's why Nope hits a little bit more home for me. Um, and you don't Nope was kind of like one of the first ones that we've seen that kind of draws on that kind of style a little bit more. You don't see those as much, I guess.
Yeah, I'll feel you.
And then this, I feel like Get Out answers a lot of your questions, or it'll put you on a lot more clearer path for you to hold a bigger discussion. And same thing with Nope. I think that both of those end in a way where you feel like there's a nice, pretty little bow on it, or it gives you the ability. The movie gives itself the ability to not fall apart if you think about it too
Right.
much. This, unfortunately, has so many things towards like that last act. Whereas if you do think about them even a little bit, you're like, this whole thing fucking falls apart.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it kills it for me, is that it just leaves so much unanswered and like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Yep.
And so that's where it kind of falls apart for me.
I would agree.
I also agree. That's a big problem I had, especially this time around. It was just like wanting answers or wanting logic reasons behind some of the stuff that's going on, and just never really getting them. Kind of just leaves you unsatisfied.
Which I think kind of brings me to my next thought. What do you guys think of the twist?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
The only
I
thing
admired it.
is in the beginning where she first goes into the Vision Quest
Mm-hmm.
and they find her. What like my original thought process was like, that's not her. Like that's
Sure.
they flopped, and then you actually see her in her adult years, and you're like, all right, that would be traumatizing for a kid.
Right.
And regardless of even if that didn't happen, getting lost in that Vision Quest on the beach as a kid would be fucking
sure.
traumatizing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you see her later in her years and she's like normal. So it's like, all right, so these things can adapt. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what they were to begin with. So
Right.
now it's like, now I don't know if it's her. Now
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of back in to the point of like, now you gotta make me believe. So I still thought they played off the twist pretty well, but it is one of those things that if you've seen enough horror, you could probably have guessed right away. But he does do a good job of covering it up and being like, well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Yeah,
But it
there's
wasn't like groundbreaking, like, oh my god.
no,
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's definitely one of those ones too where like you can like when on subsequent rewatches you can definitely see parts of it, that are foreshadowed or seeded
absolutely.
earlier in the film itself and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, I find myself of two minds in a lot of ways. I think the horror fan in me kind of wishes that we were given a family that was unconnected to the doppelgangers in more of a sense, because really it's Lupita's character flopping or switching places with her other self that kicks off the uprising, basically, because her other self, Red, leads them to kind of do this thing and uses kind of her ideas to keep it going. And I think, it would be just maybe more scary if you just had a family that was being terrorized by their doppelganger selves and that was really just the whole movie. And then like later on, you experience maybe more of the horror through kind of like the film or the news clips you see throughout the movie or people's recordings and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But on the other hand, from a character building standpoint and everything, I totally understand why obviously you do this with your characters and everything like that. It's just it's definitely it go ahead, Adam.
I was just gonna say I agree with you. I think it would be scarier if it was just all of a sudden these people show up and we gotta
Right.
figure out who they are, what are their motives, that kind of thing. But I also agree, like it's hard to have that connection to them if we don't, or even Lupita herself, they like the family we know at the beginning,
Right.
um, like we don't have any connection to her or like have any what her importance is as well. So kind of see both sides of it, but I do think if you're looking for more horror, it would be much scarier if it is just all of a sudden there are 4 identical people in my driveway. What's going on?
Yeah. And I think for me, the last act also just kind of asks you one too many big leaps. And the biggest one being the whole you are somehow psychically linked to your clone, which is just hanging out in a location vaguely underground.
Yeah.
Where you're not even born.
Right, exactly.
How do they know that? How did they know she was gonna end up there? Why would the clone be
right
there
Yeah.
if you don't know? Like,
That was
There's a
like
lot.
certainly is an
Yeah.
extension of disbelief that you have to
yeah,
have.
huge
that
aspect.
that was the one thing where I was like, I was pretty cool with, like, I'm even cool with the, like, everyone holding hands and everything, and like that being super creepy and weird, and like all of it tying together. It just, I needed something a little bit more structured than they're all just milling about around beneath us and we just don't notice, kind of thing. And that I need a little bit more,
if
something
they
a little bit more
are
tangible.
if they are connected, how does she not know how to get out? Somebody obviously let her out of the handcuffs as a kid.
Right.
Well,
Right.
her double knew how to get out. Why don't you know how to get out? Where do the scissors
Yeah.
come from?
There's a lot of scissors. That was going to be
A lot of
another one of
scissors,
my
man.
things
Yeah,
too.
the only thing that I could kind of piece together of why there was doppelgangers underground, because I know they mentioned that the government was behind some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I guess kind of what I jumped to is like maybe in some sort of fashion, like that was supposed to be some sort of program, right? For those who are like deviant, going against social norms, things of that nature, like to just like replace a person. That's kind of my jump.
Sure.
Right. So for those who are doing like illegal shit, doing the wrong things, not stand up citizens, things of that nature, where we can be like, okay, well, we can pretty much erase you and completely replace you. And like nobody would really know.
Yeah.
That was really kind of my think of like, maybe this works. But like to your guys' point, that's not even confirmed.
Right. And I think like the daughter early on says like, oh, the government puts fluoride in the water or whatever to control your
Control our
mind.
minds.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
thought like that, that's supposed to be the kind of psychic link between that and your doppelganger maybe or something, but even then it was those I'm all for a film not holding your hand, but and letting you figure stuff out on your own, but there was a couple of them on this one where it was just kind of like on the first watch, I was like, wait, what? Run that back again. let's
Hey, projector guy, throw it back like 10 minutes.
yeah. But and again, on the other hand, like Jordan Peele on an off day seems to be better than just about anyone else on a good day as well too. So
Right.
I think the emotional kind of climax with Lupita's character fighting her doppelganger down in the tunnels is really well
with like
done.
the ballet dancing.
Yeah, I think that
Awesome.
is really, really cool. In
For
the
sure.
classroom is super creepy. Kind of's got almost like a Kill Bill vibe in some ways too, with kind of like the coloring and like a lot of it's filmed in obviously in silhouette almost in some ways as well too. But yeah, I think in context with like Jordan's other movies, if I can call him Jordan, we're really good friends. We're on a first name
Friend of the
basis.
pod,
We're all
Jordan.
on first name
Yeah,
basis.
yeah, friend of the pod, Jordan.
JP.
I think just like in the context of his other movies, this is definitely the one that feels maybe the most underbaked, and maybe the one that's like kind of the one that could have used one more pass on the screenplay, or
Right.
in the editing booth. But so really unique ideas, and obviously like in probably 5 or 6 years, everyone would be like, this is obviously Jordan Peele's best movie, and and here's why. And all the TikToks will have, our quotes
Right.
on
It'll
here.
be Jordan Peele tell all on Back Row Banter. He'll reveal all of his secrets to us
Yep.
as to why this is actually his favorite project and all the things we don't understand because we're stupid. And then everyone will watch our episode and love the movie from there.
I'm in.
Yeah, I took a couple shots at this movie, but by no means do I hate it or dislike it. It is still
Yeah.
a good movie.
It's not bad. It's still
just-
definitely good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just if I was gonna watch this with somebody who hasn't seen it, I would just tell them not to think too hard about it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else we want to touch on here?
No,
I know
think
I
we
said
hit
it earlier, but killer soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's a cool soundtrack.
And I guess
we
I
didn't
would
touch on that.
I would re-emphasize again too. The performances are just really good by everyone.
outstanding.
They
Yeah,
are really incredible.
Winston
Agreed.
Duke, Lupita Nyong'o, obviously, and the
I
children.
really do love Winston Duke in this, and the children do hold up. They're
Yeah.
doing-
I
hold up
think you
their,
even could have made a
part of the
case,
bargain.
and I think it just more show a testament to that how fucking shorted horror is when it comes to awards. But I think this also
Yeah.
falls awfully close to like that Toni Collette hereditary performance of like,
Yeah.
man, she should have got some nods.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
Lupita
Did
Nyong'o
she?
should have got some nods on this. I don't know if she did. I haven't fact checked that.
Can't
but,
remember.
like, if she didn't, that's fucking sad.
Yeah,
But-
people are crazy if she didn't.
And I mean, arguably, out of
Oh, it was nominated for 0 Academy Awards.
Mm.
Tragic.
arguably out of like all of Jordan Peele's movies, Lupita's character in this gets like arguably like the worst go of it. Like she has a horrible life. The
Yeah.
original girl that gets swapped out and then has to live
Yeah.
the rest of it underneath there, like
Eating rabbits.
yeah, like hey, I get it. I understand why you were mad, and
Yeah.
can figure out why and why you would do this.
It's not like the clone fucking walked into anything great
Right,
either. Your
it's
dad's a
true.
drunk piece of shit.
It's true. It's true. It's I don't know. It's
One half
grim.
dozen to the other, I suppose.
It's very grim.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it here for the spoiler segment of the pod. We're gonna go ahead or welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment. We're gonna go ahead and put us up upon our entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of all the movies we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. If you want to see the list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description. Which I'm doing right now to pull up the link to Letterboxd. Let's see here what we got going on. Jordan Peele's other 2 films. We have Nope. Where's Nope at? Let me Command F it here. Nope is
Not
at
high
47,
enough.
below John Wick and above Scream. And Get Out is much higher at number 8 in our top 10 of all the movies we've got on the pod so far here. So us, based on the conversation we just had, if I had to guess, will be lower than both of those, probably. But where are we looking here, fellas? Anyone got an early entry, an early spot that they're looking at?
Well, I was perusing Letterboxd earlier, and I saw that our good friend
The
Blake.
library.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I saw our good friend BlakeHolder did rate us at a 3.5 stars out of 5, and I think personally that is about as accurate as you could possibly be. with this one. This is about as 3.5 star as a movie as there is. So I don't know where 3.5 stars would translate onto on this here Entropy list. But I can tell you one thing. It's here. It's October 17th. It's 2023, and I can't put this above Trick or Treat. Can't do it, folks. And I'm looking around there as well too. There we got Die Hard, we got The Creator, we got Scream. What is that? 6 or 5 over there as well too.
That's 5.
We got The Last Duel, which I like. Adam thinks is dumb, but Adam's wrong.
Not a great movie.
Got The Strangers around there too. Tyler called about that. That's a pretty good thing as well too. And I do think I'd rather watch The Strangers before I'd watch this again. So yeah, I'm gonna put this at 102, below The Rock and above Scream. What is that? 6? Yeah, it's below Black Widow, which is like hard to do for myself, but it's still above Independence Day and Top Gun. And I don't think I can put this above The Rock. I think I'd rather watch The Rock than this. So, fuck, that's above Insidious.
So 102.
Too. Damn, no, Insidious is right there. Nah, yeah, 102. I'm gonna go 102. I don't think I can go lower for Jordan Peele. Still, yeah. Lock it in. 102 for Nathaniel.
All right. You touched on The Strangers. That's the biggest wall for me. Is like I would definitely want to watch Strangers over this one most of the time. So I don't know. Looking at this, I don't want to sink too far down. There's a gap in the mid 90s where I'm like I could put it above those movies, but then there's some below it that I'm like, oh well, I like those two. So it's a little wonky there in that sense. And then I see the blackening and blind spotting sinking further and further. I will probably. I mean, I don't know. I feel bad going so low, but when I think of just when I think about my enjoyment of the film, it's not a lot that I'm like holding on to for like, oh yeah, Us is good in this sense or great in this way.
Right.
So man, I think I am just gonna have to kind of, unfortunately. Wow, I'm like. Actually, if someone else go, I'm actually really have to think about this because this is a dilemma for me, actually.
Yeah.
Blake, do you have a spot yet?
Not quite. I'm kind of thinking aloud. Going through here, obviously, the first thing I looked at is like that horror purgatory we have from like what is it, like 80 to like 90, or like 80 to like 100. So I see Scream. What is that? Scream 6 at 102. I think I would take this over Scream 6. Take it over Black Widow. Trick or Treat, tough. Scream 5, I think I'd take this over Scream 5. Honestly, where it gets a little tough for me, The Descent is a hard cap. There's no way this is going above The Descent.
Sure.
Right? So that's a hard cap for me. But where it gets close to me, I'm like, okay, how do I feel about The Menu and X? And X is good. I like Mia Goth. We were talking about her earlier. Or the other day in the store, as well as Jenna Ortega and Prey, and then The Menu.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I like this more than Last Night in Soho. I'd say that much. The Menus kind of has like a weird sweet spot to me. I've actually rewatched that about a few months ago, and it was interesting, held up. So I think for the sake of it, though, I can't put it above X and Prey. I think I'm gonna go 88.
88 it is.
88.
Yeah. The only thing that's the killer is seeing The Strangers at 91, where that is a tough feat for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that is tough. Strangers is pretty good.
But I like it over Last Night in Soho and Halloween 28.
Fair. Man, I don't want to put it this low, but I'm like thinking like lower than 110 potentially, but then I'm like, I can't do that. Like I feel like that's way too low just doing. I'm gonna, you know what?
110 is nuts because the last voyage of Demeter's there. I'm not.
That's the thing is like I see that movie. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell? How
Yeah.
did that get there? You know.
Right?
Um,
Pirates, you guys are
yeah.
sleeping on it. Just saying.
I'm with you, dude.
I
I'm with you.
I'm gonna have to just. You know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll put it at 108. The Notebook's been slipping for me. I love The Notebook. So
That's
I'm gonna
fair.
put
That
it.
is a good movie.
Yeah,
I agree. For
drastically
sure.
different movie.
For sure.
But
But a
yeah,
good movie.
10
though.
108. I don't want to sink it too far there, and then it's still above Tenet, which makes me feel good. Yeah, there's some movies below it that I would definitely love to put above it, but that's just kind of how this list shakes out at this point. It's kind of separating itself into tiers almost. But yeah, I'm at what did I say, 108. Yeah, I'll be at 108. That's below The Notebook and above Tenet. Tyler, where are you at?
Excuse me. I am going to be at 100.
There you
I
go.
will sacrifice things like Top Gun and Independence Day. Just because those are a little bit more nostalgia.
Sure.
Like this is better than Black Widow.
No,
Agree.
And,
1000%.
Yeah, and like The Rock is really hard to pass up, like Nathaniel was saying, but like Trick or Treat, Gatekeeper,
Yeah.
you shall not pass. So yeah, I'm gonna go. What did I say? Right at 100, above Black Widow, below No Time to Die.
All right. Well, with that rating in, that gives us an average ranking of 99.5, meaning we would have to tie break it with No Time to Die. I'm an above.
I'll go above because I think this will be somewhat more memorable. Fucking idiot. Than No Time to Die.
Valid.
Because like you've seen 1007 movie, you have seen them all.
Yeah. Runtime also
Yeah.
not doing No Time to Die a service here.
As somebody said, that's a lot of time to die.
Too much, some would say.
Blake, where you at? Above or below?
What's the tiebreaker with again? One more time.
No Time to Die. James Bond.
Ooh. I'll go above.
Yeah, I'm above. Even though I ranked it lower than it, I'm above.
Yeah.
Above.
Above. Nathaniel. I mean, I guess you kind of get outvoted, but
Yeah, it doesn't
Nathaniel.
matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Your opinion doesn't
Mr. Irrelevant.
I'll throw one at No Time to Die just to have one in his corner.
All right, cool. Well, that will slot in us at 99, below Trick or Treat and above No Time to Die. Well, this is getting long here, boys. 163 movies here. Kind of wild. I don't know how well this list functions. It really is separated into tiers here. Maybe we should eventually just do a tier entry list.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably think about doing that. But all right, cool. That's at 99. That's it for this week's review. Next week's review will be a little film from a little indie film from a little indie filmmaker. He's an up and comer. You might have heard of him, might not have. His name's Martin Scorsese, and his film Killer of the Flower Moon is coming out in theaters. It's coming to Apple TV when? Christmas?
I hope it's not that late.
Moon release date, Apple TV. Pause for identification here. Theaters, October 20th. Can I find where it releases on Apple TV? No, it won't tell me.
It will never.
Redacted.
See it in theaters,
Just
folks.
says at a later date. So we actually have no idea when it's coming to Apple TV.
Don't see
Maybe
it at
we
all.
do. I just can't find it. It's in theaters at least October 20th. Go see it in theaters because support your theaters. Also bring a little pee bag or something because it's 3 hours and 26 minutes. So I don't know. I don't think there's an intermission, but there should be.
Christ.
Yeah. So
3 hours is-
pack a lunch. Bring
yeah,
some
this is
drinks.
longer than Oppenheimer.
Jeez.
I think
This is a
Oppenheimer was
long-
like what?
This will
3:15?
be. This will probably be the longest single movie I've seen in theaters. I've seen double features
Automatically
and stuff
down
like
half.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, this might be a little.
I'm
This
joking.
might be a little tough.
Just automatic relegation to the bottom.
Yeah.
That's
it.
funny. All right. So yeah, go see Killers of the Flower Moon. Join us for a review next week. We got some time to do what we're watching. Do you guys want to run around and do one quick thing each of us, or is it too late?
Sure.
Do we don't just go to bed?
I mean, I'm good either way. Whatever you guys want to do.
I'm down to do one thing for each of us. You guys are good.
Go for it.
Nathaniel, you want to kick us off?
Yeah,
Go for it.
I referenced this earlier, but there is both a YouTube page that is doing a October long marathon of old Scooby-Doo episodes. But I also just realized that HBO Max, or the artist formerly known as HBO Max, now just called Max, also has all of the Scooby-Doos on it. So I've been watching a lot of Scooby-Doo. You know what? It's been great.
Hilarious. The animated stuff or the movies?
The animated stuff for sure.
Oh, okay.
So, like,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the one that has the Simple Plan theme. And then
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
that's the one. Been watching a lot of that. Got some of the originals from when, like, way back. You know, that you would see on, like, Cartoon Network at 8 a.m. on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's been a couple series, I guess, since then that they just had kind of like randomly on that YouTube page, and it was a couple of them were pretty funny. They had a couple good jokes in there as well too. But I don't know if Adam you would have, but do Blake and Tyler, do you remember in like the mid 90s, early aughts, there was those like 4 Scooby-Doo movies that came out that went directly to either VHS or DVD, I want to say.
Like Freddie
Yes.
Prinze Jr. and shit?
No. They were still animated.
The animated ones?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The one with fuck, what were like the 3 witches called? They would sing.
Oh
they
yeah,
had
they were
guitars,
the
they in a
Hex
band.
Sisters or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
There
about.
was
Some of
that
my first
one.
crushes.
There you go. There was that
Yeah.
one. There was the Monster Island, which freaked me the heck out when I was a kid.
For
'Cause that was
sure.
the first one where it was like it wasn't a guy in a mask. It was a real monster. And I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
my brain is broken. And then there was an alien one, and then there was the Cyber Chase one as well too. And I just remember watching all 4 of those like back to back to back all the month of October when I was a kid. But yeah, that's what I've been watching overall, I would say. Scooby-Doo. I'm looking for more horror movies for October, folks. If you find anything new or you maybe just have a recommendation or something, let me know. But yeah, I need more stuff. Hit me up. Blake, what have you been watching?
Some of the same old. So I also found a 24/7 live stream on YouTube. The first one I came across was the Grim Adventure of Billy and Mandy Halloween episodes. So that's been kind of comedy for
That's
me in the mornings.
Yeah, that's a go-to for you as well. That's not the first
Yeah.
time we've heard Billy and Mandy come out.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I used to love that show when I was little. I've also watched some of that live stream for Scooby Doo. As you guys know, spent a ton of time on YouTube, and like I mentioned, that was oh man, I couldn't even tell you what year it was, but it was definitely an iteration of Scooby Doo that I've had to be like post 2017, 2018.
Sure.
It was like really weird like watching it. It's just not the show you're accustomed to growing up with. They also had a 24/7 live stream of the Halloween Town films.
Yeah.
So I
No
caught
way.
2 of those. Yeah, I
Those
caught
are
2
Disney
of those
Plus,
just in the
too.
background. Are they really?
At least they were at one point. They might have taken them off when they purged
Sure.
that platform, but
Yeah. And these live streams, I don't know if Nathaniel mentioned or not, but they're actually like from like Nickelodeon and Disney. It's like weird. It's not just like
so it's not even
it's
like
not
bootleg
Blake and
live streams.
Nathaniel just live
Right,
streaming
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
it's really
they're
weird,
like
man. So,
legit live streams. I've actually
Yeah,
heard a
dude.
little bit about that, and that's how they're trying to get around paying actors residuals or something like that now that the strikes are done.
So shitty.
Oh,
Is that they're
well.
trying to just like they're like I don't know if you guys are on TikTok, but sometimes when you scroll through TikTok, it'll just be a scene from a movie, and like you can find just entire movies just ripped and then put into clips and on a profile, so you can watch an entire movie just on TikTok. And apparently, some studios have started to just upload their movies straight to TikTok, and
Wow.
yeah,
be
it's
like-
like you don't even have to
Fuck.
stream it.
Want to be in like also the weird TikTok aspect ratio of like
Yes, it is.
7:2 or
Yes,
whatever
no,
it is.
you're right. You're watching it. You're watching it on like the little like probably total of like a 1-inch space on your screen.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. You are watching it just like that.
Cool.
Dumb as fuck.
You know what? The only ones I ever stop on, Fast and Furious.
There you
There
go.
was one time. There was one time when this first started popping up on my feed, Fast and Furious 1 popped up, and it was the tuna shop or the tuna sandwich scene at the car shop, and I stopped and I went to the profile and watched probably 15 minutes of Fast and Furious on my phone.
Well, I hope
Bullshit, asshole. No one likes the tuna here.
I hope they pay people, but it is cool to have not never ending Scooby Doo. So I am cool with that.
That is cool too. All right,
That's about all I had. I'll let somebody else kick it off.
Ty, what'd you watch?
I kicked it back a little bit, not as far as you guys have gone. But I went to Avatar, but the Korra. Those are also on Netflix, and they look so good on Netflix. So that's been kind of like my go-to on my phone. Whether it's like getting ready in the morning or like eating breakfast or like when I'm just kind of like chilling in bed at night or something like that. So
Sure.
that's what I've been kicking it back to. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love the first one, the first series with Aang and everybody, and then I also thoroughly enjoyed Korra when it first came out. And this is not my first rewatch of it, so yeah, been enjoying that. And then the missus and I have gotten around to Gen V, which is on Amazon.
Yes.
And this is a spin-off of The Boys.
La Boys.
Boys.
The Boys. How do
And
you-
it's been great.
Yeah?
Yeah, we actually have had quite a bit of fun with it. There's only 5 episodes. I don't know if they're doing it in increments of 5 episodes. I don't know if this is just kind of like their first like kind of push at it to see if it's gonna
Sure.
catch or to see if enough people have enough interest in it. But there's only 5 episodes. I'm kind of hoping we don't have to wait, but whatever. I'm glad I'm getting something related to The Boys as far as content goes, because that is about the only superhero stuff that I care about right now. Because
I
it's
cannot
all
believe that
garbage.
Leah will watch that with you.
Yeah, it's kind of like her. Like she enjoys the storyline.
It's fair enough.
Yeah, and so yeah, this and The Boys, but it's just gory as all hell.
Yeah.
Even they hold true, and yeah, she just they write a good enough story to where if I can see the gore coming, I can cover her eyes and she'll deal with it.
Fair enough.
So
Speaking of The Boys, have you guys seen that Invincible season 2 is finally coming up?
I have heard about that.
I do know
I'm
that it
very
is coming up. I honestly still have not finished the first series or
Oh, you
first season.
should.
Yeah, you definitely should.
It's definitely something that I know when it first came out, a lot of people were talking about,
Yeah.
especially running so parallel to The Boys. And so yeah, it's definitely something I wanna check out pretty quick here.
Looks like season 2 will debut. They're gonna do 4 episodes. Oh, they're splitting it up. Okay. 4 episodes starting November 3rd, and then they will pick up on the second half of the season in early 2024. So probably March. If I had to guess. Hopefully.
Yeah, cool. Real quick, while you're chatting on Invincible, I know I mentioned some of the DLC characters for MK1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I heard about this.
And they just showed gameplay for Omni-Man about 2. He's the first of the DLC characters. I think he comes out in about 3 weeks. And it's actually voiced by J.K. Simmons in like the Mortal Kombat universe as well.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, so that's one. I'll have to share a link to the chat on that one. I'll kick out of it, specifically Adam with J.K. Simmons in there. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, looks good. Looks really awesome. They took a lot of his like some of his fatalities are stuff from the actual show, like he's squeezing the guy's head when he's like punching the fuck out of his son.
Yeah, his
with that,
fatalities
so,
are
yeah.
like kills he has in the actual show. There's like a
Yeah.
train scene where he like
For
runs somebody
sure.
through a train like he does in the show. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really cool.
So
I've
yeah,
seen some
it
side
looks
by
like
side.
looks like they're doing it justice for sure.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. J.K. Simmons was in Baldur's Gate as I was
is.
watching Nathaniel and Waz play it last night after we recorded. Just randomly shows up as one of the villains, so that was kind of funny. Is that all you watched? Ty? You get on your stuff?
Yes.
Cool.
What
I
did you watch?
finally got around to Neon Genesis
Yes.
rebuilds. Yes.
Big year.
It's been a long time coming. I've watched the first one before this time around. I'd watched the first one twice. I watched it originally, and I watched it once, and I was like, oh, I got to go back to the second one like pretty soon after, and I just for whatever reason didn't. And then there was another time where I tried to I watched the first one, and I was like, I'm gonna watch all three of these again. And then I watched the first one, and then started the second one, and fell asleep shortly into it. And I was like, oh, now I gotta just. That was like, oh, I gotta go back to it. Never did for whatever reason. And so now I'm like, I had it's cooling off outside, so I feel like anime binging time season is upon myself at least. And so I sat down, had a free night, Friday night. So sat down, watched 1.11, started 2.22.
Yep.
Eventually fell asleep again shortly into that one. And then I woke up Saturday morning, and I was like, I had 2 days off in a row. So I was like, I still got nothing going on today. It's rainy outside. I don't want to go. And this was like back-to-back gloomy days. And I woke up to like just rain, gloomy. I was like, I got really nothing super pressing going on today. Let me just boot it back up. And because I was just itching to watch it again or get it done with. So put in 2.22 and then watched 3.33 last night, actually.
Oh,
so now
boy.
I am on. I haven't watched 4 yet. Debating waiting. I think I might wait for my DVD to come in because I just ordered the 4K disc. And that was perfect timing, too, because I was watching 2.22, and I have 2 and 3. I'll start calling them 2 and 3 now because that's annoying.
Yeah.
But I had 2 and 3 on Blu-ray, and I was like, I wonder if the fourth one's gonna come out on Blu-ray because they only released it on Prime Video when it first released in 2021. Sure enough, I can pre-order for this week. I could pre-order the fourth movie on a 4K Blu-ray. So it was just really perfect timing how that lined up because not easy to get your hands on these DVDs since there aren't a lot of them made in the US. So I was like perfect timing with that because just set my pre-order in, so I have that one coming in. The only one that I need on DVD now is the first one. But that being said, Nathaniel, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Like, man, these rebuilds.
Yeah, I don't know what. Oh, you're just talking about the
Just the rebuilds.
just it in general.
Oh yeah. Well, Nathaniel's talking about how the first DVD,
Yeah.
right now is on Amazon for like $200. Their last Blu-ray copy is available for like $200. So like, I don't really want to spend that much. So I gotta find other routes to go. But very hard to get your hands on that first rebuild on DVD. But regardless, these rebuilds, Nathaniel, what the hell, man?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy,
They're
right?
insane. It's so crazy.
Yeah. How do you feel?
I don't know how to feel, man. I truly don't. I was so taken aback when I started the third one because not only did because the second one switches up pretty hard halfway through.
Yep.
And it starts going in a completely different route than the show goes.
Yep.
And ends in a way that is like the ending of 2 is not even in the show. So it's in the original show. So you're just in a completely different path. And then 3 starts, and you don't even feel like you don't even know if you're watching Evangelion. Like you don't even know if you're watching the same movie.
Yep.
I literally was just watching it like, am I tripping? Like what is happening right now? The animation style switches up. The story is just wildly
Completely different.
completely different. And so it took me a long second to ease into what was going on. And in some ways I kind of felt like Shinji, where I was like, what is happening? Like, please someone just catch me up. And so yeah, it took me a second to get fully on board, but once I just sat back and watched the rest of 3, and I was like, this is beautiful. And I like the switch up. I think the way it's Ano that did this one, right? Hideki Anno.
Yes.
Yeah, the way he presents the greater story in this one is much more approachable than he does in the show. And in terms of like actually explaining what's going on, because the show just moves so blistering fast that it's kind of hard to keep up with what's going on there. And so this one's much more streamlined in that sense, and it's kind of more you get a grasp of what's going on with everything. Animation's gorgeous in all 3 of them. I've never felt better about my hue lights than I have the past few days watching these movies, because the hue sync box with anime, and especially these movies, beautiful, dude. I wish at some point I'm gonna have you guys over whenever I get my own place, and I'll put these in with the hue sync lights, and you guys will see what I'm talking about, because it was gorgeous. Yeah, I've now have an unfortunate itching to go back and watch the original show. So we'll see if that happens soon, because I haven't seen it. That was what, New Year's 2020 into 2021, right?
I believe
Nathaniel?
that was, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe so it's been almost 2 years since I watched the show, and maybe I'll give that a revisit pretty soon here. So but yeah, that's what I've been watching. I'll get to the 4th one pretty soon here. But yeah, very, very good times watching those. Nathaniel, I want to talk to you more about it off pod. I know it's getting late here, so
we'll go deep.
yeah, we'll definitely talk about it more. Maybe we do a bit of sizzle on it. And Ty, because Ty, you're caught up with them too, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe we can do an episode on them. Maybe potentially. We'll talk. All right. With all that being said, let's get on out of here. Listeners, if you can, please share the podcast. Share with a friend, a family member, or a doppelganger or 2. And while you're doing that, follow us on Twitter at Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and our YouTube is just Back Row Banter. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. I'll be on there logging some things, rating them out of 5 stars. As my man Nathaniel just said, I gave us 3.5 out of 5, which was pretty generous. So yeah, that's where I'm at on there, and we'll keep it short and sweet. I'll go to the next person.
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at @NSKingrick. You can find me on Instagram at NathanielG92. Sandpiper Taste is my other podcast. Tyler.
Instagram, Letterboxd, and X, all Tyler Dallas. TYLERVIDALES. Adam.
Find me on Twitter at Aish24 and on the Letterboxd at Aish. That's AYYSH. Thank you all for listening to episode 166. Join us, especially if you made it this far into the episode. Yeah, that's what I usually say. Especially if you made it this far into the episode. Thank you for listening. You're my favorite type of listener. Join us for our review of Killers of the Flower Moon next week. We'll be RB.
Be excellent to each other, everyone, and we will be RB.
Thanks for stopping by, and thank you. And just spread love. And we'll be RB.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for the support as always. We wouldn't be able to continue this podcast if it wasn't for you. So yeah, happy Halloween, and make sure you at least get to a handful of horror, right? That's my take home. We're halfway through. At least see if you can get to 2 of them. It's 1 a week. We'll be RB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Nathaniel, those poor Diamondbacks, man.
Oh yeah, how we looking, Nathaniel? Give me the update on baseball, boss. I did see some of the Rangers Astros game though.
Uh,
My cousin lives in Dallas, so I've seen him post a few things on the socials.
Yeah, and I turned off the game earlier when we started loading up here. Is it officially over? Well,
Is this game
just
one?
about. No, it's game 2.
That'd be fair. Game 1.
Yeah, it looks like the Phillies are putting a hurt on us right now. It was yesterday was okay. It was like they got out to an early lead, and then like towards the end of the game we were coming back, and then just kind of ran out of time. Today is kind of an implosion. It looks like. So it looks like we're going down 2-0. Unfortunately,
Best of 7.
it is best of 7.
Okay, so doable. Going down 0-2 is you're still able to come back and win.
It's
but-
pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
The Phillies are definitely feeling like they got the momentum and the energy right now and the attitude.
And I think, like you said, they're the better team. Went to the championship last year. They
Yeah.
know what they're doing.
I don't know if necessarily they're the better team, but they're definitely the team to have built to have more success in the postseason. The way that like they've kind of been playing.
Okay.
Like I think I was talking about in the store, Diamondbacks so far this postseason have really overperformed by like hitting home run balls, and like that's not really how they've played all season. They were more like small ball, put pressure on you, run you. Where the Phillies are definitely just try and outmash the other team, and so far that's what this series has been. So we'll see. But
Are the Phillies the number 1 seed?
no, neither
Phillies-
of them were. The Phillies were the
Yeah.
4 seed. The Diamondbacks were the 6 seed, basically. I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think all of the NL 1 seeds combined to win 1 playoff game.
Ooh.
2 of them got 3-0'd, which is a symptom of the new playoff format where teams get a 5-day break. And it kind of just throws everyone off, I feel like. So,
Yeah. Fair.
I don't know.
Well,
see what
hopefully they pull it off, right? Go.
I mean, yeah, playing 2 in Philly is hard to start the series, so we'll see. And it's 4 games, and so it's best of 7, so you never know. I mean, going down 2-0 is not ideal, of course, but it doesn't mean it's over by any means.
Yeah.
Got 2 more in Phoenix next few days.
Cool.
I'm holding out hope for you, Nathaniel.
We'll see. We'll
We're
see.
rooting.
Let's get to
All
it.
right, let's get this started.